Board games are inherently a social hobby, whether it's getting around together at the table at home or at bigger events such as conventions or tournaments. Unfortunately, because of current events, a lot of these big events have been either canceled or delayed. We're going to talk about some of them here and how they have been changed so far around mid-April as of the release of this video. Now, first, obviously, tournaments. A lot of the Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, those card tournaments, all of them have been canceled because it's way too hard to try to get these social tournaments together without trying to keep that 6 foot distance that everyone needs. There's been some other cancellations as well. WizKids has canceled all their trade and consumer events for not only this quarter, which is Q2, but also Q3, so nothing until the end of the year. But some things have been pushed, but they could be pushed further. The example for Magic the Gathering, Ikora was supposed to have pre-release in April, but that has been pushed to May. We'll see if they're able to hold that.
Of course, the other big gaming event that happens outside of tournaments are conventions. Gaming conventions where people gather, sometimes for tournaments or just to buy new games or play demos of the newest games. And some of those that have been scheduled for this year have also been postponed or canceled. The Origins Game Fair has been moved from its original date of June to October. They will be holding a kind of virtual event that you can attend online during the original date, but the actual fair right now is scheduled to be held in October. Then there's the UK Games Expo, which has been moved from May to August, as has Unpub 10 to show off indie games in development, again from May to August. Then there's BGG Spring, Board Game Geeks Convention, which was meant to be held in May. They have canceled that entirely for 2020. Anyone who had a ticket for that is going to now be moved over to the 2021 event. And in the case that they cannot attend that one, they will be given a refund. And then some companies are taking creative approaches to this. Cryptozoic, because they haven't been able to attend a lot of the conventions that would normally be taking place around this time, they're holding their own Cryptozoic Con, again, virtually online. It's going to be this weekend, April 16th, but they will be putting up things for sale, including some of their new games, as well as some figures and things that would have normally been maybe even exclusive to certain conventions. You'll be able to take a look at those. So obviously big shakeups. Origins and Board Game Geek Con, the spring edition, are nothing to sneeze at. Like, those are big deals. And for a lot of people right now, they're not able to play games together with the people that they would like to. And this, of course, is making it harder, but it makes sense. All of them have cited safety concerns, health concerns for these issues. I think the question for me even is, for these ones that didn't outright cancel, that postponed, is that even enough? October, I would like to say, is a safe bet. August, I'm not 100% sure even in August it's going to really be the right time for people to want to gather together at one of these things.
No, I completely agree. I really feel like September is when you can really start maybe being like, feel a little safe.
Dip your toes in the water.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you may have noticed we haven't mentioned one convention in particular. That's Gen Con. So far, they have announced that they have no plans to change. They're going to keep at the current started August, would you say?
And I believe this year it's like very late, end of July to start of August is when Gen Con is scheduled for. And yeah, they've been going full steam ahead, more or less, making announcements, saying they're keeping an eye on the situation, but they haven't said anything yet about a possible postponement or cancellation. We've talked about this a little bit when this stuff was first starting to develop, maybe a little bit on our podcast as well, but I definitely am in the camp. I mean, we just said that we don't think August probably is going to be safe.
We sort of spoiled our
I think it's there. I mean, it's really a big deal, and I think that Gen Con is not going to be able to go forward. I think it's inevitable. They're going to have to at least push it, and I would speculate that they're delaying that announcement. They're holding on as long as they possibly can, because obviously there's a lot of money at stake. I think for everybody involved, exhibitors, all those people, they plan their whole year around this event. And even the city itself of Indianapolis, I think they make so much money and revenue from the tourism and, all the restaurants in that area, which of course may not even be open at that time,
or
in some cases,
able to open because they went out of business.
Yeah, there's so many unknown factors. And I just think that Gen Con I think they need to make an announcement like now. I think they need to make a decision. I think this like sitting on the fence and saying like, well, we're still doing it. We'll see. I don't think that helps anybody.
No, you're right. I know this is not something where just Gen Con alone makes the decision. That like all of these announcements will have links before. Almost all of them will be like, we talk with the people who run the establishment and stuff.
Right. The
You know,
convention centers,
it's a mixed thing, but and I get that. I get it's also a big revenue source. You know,
hotels, that's a big deal.
it's just my problem is I think some people might be judging this by what's happening in like New York and California, the hardest hit areas. But I think that the middle of the country, for Gen Con at least, you know, where Indianapolis is, it's going to be worse in the summer, not getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think different areas are going to have different rates.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a little worried about this. And in particular, you know, board games, not only is a lot of people getting together, we're all touching the same pieces.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we touched on some of this when this first started happening. No, no pun intended. Please don't touch. In our previous video, when this situation really was still in its, well, I can't even say early stages anymore, but it feels like early now compared to how far we've come or how far we've fallen. And I think one of the other big problems is even if Gen Con goes through with this, I think most exhibitors and press too, and a lot of consumers as well, aren't going to feel safe going there. And I think that that's a real risk, is that they might hold it and people just might not attend.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's open, that doesn't mean they will come.
Yes, I'm surprised even now. Like I have to imagine they're being reached out to from game publishers saying, "Look, we're not coming." I mean, that would be my guess. Maybe some of them will feel pressured because Gen Con is so big that they have to do it.
No, I mean that's the issue. I think if enough of the game designers were complaining, they would have canceled. My guess is they aren't actually getting a lot because all of them really need Gen Con. Everyone is just desperate. Everyone's optimistic because they need to be optimistic.
Yeah.
They're hoping it will be good because if they don't also have August, who knows what's going to happen? And you know, a lot of these companies, you know, we're in America, and you know, you can hear the news about what kind of deals they're doing here, but you know, not all these companies are here. I don't know what they're doing in other countries if they're getting the same kind of stimulus packages or anything weird like that. What will and will not fall under, and that's the other big issue. Where your country you're located now can really change how you feel about this.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame outside companies for not wanting to come to America in the next few months. Yeah, I mean, air travel in general.
Oh yeah,
That's a huge issue. So, I mean, right now, I think all these companies that have done these postponements and cancellations are absolutely doing the right thing. And I love the idea of the online
Oh no,
experience.
I love what Cryptozoic's doing. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the other board game companies could hop on that train because it'd be really cool. In particular, if they even scheduled like Gen Con week, like Monday we've got Cryptozoic, you know, Tuesday we've got Come On Games, Wednesday Asmodee, and then even like, all right, we're gonna get all the indie developers. You know, you can put up a little video about your thing here, and then everyone can browse it, which could be help, you know, give the money to them because I'm sure a lot of people with their either unpublished games or even if they were published and they just have a small amount, people could still check that and like, oh, they actually funded this. This looks fun, kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, based on in previous years, we always see the hashtag Gen Can't, and people have fun like online events and things and discussions who aren't able to attend Gen Con. So, like, based on that, I have no doubt, like, you know, gamers are creative. I think they would come out with some really fun stuff that you could do as an equivalent of Gen Con during that week, as in addition to Gen Con themselves, hopefully something like that.
Hashtag Gen can't seriously.
That's right. Yeah, Jen can't at all. Jen can't even. We're going to close out this video with just a few more interesting ways that other publishers or parts of the game industry have been responding to this crisis. Obviously, Asmodee has pushed all their products right now up until May 1st. Any new releases are not being released until that date, as some other companies have also followed suit in delaying their products. Yeah, one of the most interesting ones I think is Mayday. who make some games. They're also very well known for their sleeves and accessories like that. They have pivoted to producing masks.
Yes, they're distributing masks right now. I don't think it's I forget the code names of all the different masks. It's not the
It's
main
not
one
the
we know.
N95s,
Yes,
but
but it's something useful enough. I mean, honestly, anyone could use any kind of mask right now, at least here.
yeah.
And that's honestly a lot of interesting companies are doing that. Not just them. I mean, I've heard like a Lego factory switched over, which is crazy. I just hope it's not just a bunch of bricks here.
Yeah, that could be messy. You gotta be careful
But
with that.
we reported earlier how Wizard of the Coast was trying to help out some local game stores by sending them extra, reprinting the Mythic boosters and sending them out. Some other companies like Level 99 and Plaid Hat are giving, not trying, sorry, their percentage to game stores.
Yeah. Right now, I think Level 99 is doing it store wide. For Plaid Hat, I believe right now it's just for Forgotten Waters,
Hmm.
which is their newest upcoming game release. Yeah, percentage of their profits are going to if you a game store, you can actually tell them, reach out and let them know like what your game store is, and that's where they'll give some of those profits. In the case of Plaid Hat, Level 99 I know is also putting some profits towards like charities and outreach programs. So it's really great to see publishers and different companies coming together to try to figure out solutions like that, doing what little is possible right now, depending on your situation. It's scary times right now, and it feels like the past few weeks since we've recorded our first video on this topic. Like it feels like it's been a lifetime since then, and who knows what things are going to look like in another few weeks. But yeah, I think at this stage, I feel like it is not the best thing to do. Probably not in your best interest as anyone running any kind of event in 2020. I just wouldn't count on it.
No, I completely
That's
agree. I mean, that's why, like, while I'm happy with a lot of the companies that are postponing, like to October, for example, Origins,
mhm.
I understand that, like, you know what, we're canceling it for the 2020. You're gonna be signed up for 2021 for like Board Game Geek, the spring
Right,
con.
right.
Obviously, we don't have all of the information behind the scenes, but I also understand like how Gen Con might be. We can't. We need this time period. Both Indianapolis and us. You know, a lot of the board game companies aren't complaining yet because they're like, please tell me the curve is flattened enough by that time. But I mean, I'm pessimistic.
Yeah, I think at this point, at this stage, it's realistic, but we'll see.
We
Like
we've
we,
seen enough bad things happen in co-op games to know the good outcome doesn't tend to happen.
yeah, that's right. The deck is stacked against us, and we know that it's certainly better to err on the side of caution. That if we think, oh, maybe it is okay, and it's not, then things are just going to get much worse.
Right.
But we'll find out. We'll see. We'll stay tuned to see exactly if Gen Con continues the way that they're going, or how more publishers, more conventions are delayed, postponed. We will stay tuned to all that stuff. Definitely like to hear from you guys in the comments. What you think? Did you have admission to any of these events? You're disappointed you can't go. Do you still want to go to Gen Con, or are you not thinking about doing that anymore, regardless of whether they hold it or not?
Of
Talk to us
course,
down there.
yeah, let us know in those comments down below. But until then, I'm Will.
I'm Jonathan.
This is Roll for Crit.
Never miss out by liking and subscribing, and you can also check out more on our Patreon.
We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so follow us there.